Hi. So I'm Jordan. This is my Lyme disease challenge video. So I really hope you watch this, even if it's kind of long and you're busy doing something else. Lyme disease is really important, especially if you're a friend of mine. I'd really appreciate it if you listen to my story, because this is pretty much my life now. My only motivation for wanting to spread awareness about my disease, it's not for attention. It's not that, I want to get my sob story out there. I want people to tell me that I'm brave. It's just because I've gone through complete and utter hell for the last 2 years, especially the last 6 to 7 months during treatment. And I just don't want anyone else to have to go through this if they can avoid it. I'm sorry if you've been bombarded by all of my Facebook posts for the last 6 to 7 months about Lyme on Facebook. It's kind of the only way that I can get out there right now. I'm still really sick. I'm still in treatment. I trip over words sometimes. Sometimes sentences don't match together right. So sorry about that in advance. But yeah, Lyme disease is really important. It's amazing. It's probably got the biggest discrepancy between how terrible it is and how many people it affects, how much pain and suffering it causes, how much money people have to spend on treatment, versus how little people actually know about it and how few people actually care about it. I know before I got sick, I had no idea. I knew it was a disease. I knew it existed. But yeah, I guess a basic summary of my story, if you haven't heard it before, I try to make a point of spreading it far and wide on the internet. I try to put everything out there because I figure that's the best way to help raise awareness, is just get my story out there. My story isn't typical. Most people that I know in the Lyme community have had Lyme for a lot longer than I have. Some people even have more co-infections than I have. Lots of people are way more sick than I am. I'm super lucky. But because I'm not typical, I feel extra motivated to get my story out there, because since I can actually talk, form sentences, get up and do stuff, I actually have the energy to do these kinds of things. I feel obligated to, since other people can't. And I want to kind of be the voice for people who don't really have a voice, either because they're sick in bed and they can't move, or they're dead. But basically, a short version of my story is that I got bit at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo in 2013. I woke up one day and I felt cruddy, or I felt nauseous, a little dizzy, just cruddy all over, and it just didn't go away, and every single day it got worse. The doctors couldn't really help me. They said, "Hey, you're pregnant." "Oh, wait, you're pregnant." "Oh, did you think maybe you're pregnant?" Like, they just kept giving me pregnancy tests every single time I went in there. They did a blood test, I guess, to test if I had mono. They said I had GERD. They said, "You have an anxiety disorder. You're depressed. You're anorexic." I didn't quite believe what I was saying. Eventually, one of the doctors just said, "Hey, we can't help you. Go see a gastro specialist," because a lot of my problems were in my stomach. I would wake up nauseous, go to bed nauseous. And not just nauseous like, ugh, I feel sick. Nausea as in the kind of nausea where you run to the bathroom and you lift up the toilet bowl and you are ready to vomit. Like that kind of nausea all day. It was crippling. It was debilitating. So I kind of just pretended like I wasn't sick. I got 2 jobs for over summer. I didn't have a car. I rode a bike like 3 or 4 miles to and from work every single day. I went to go see a gastro specialist, and he diagnosed me with gastroparesis. Basically, the vagus nerve controls the contractions, the muscles in there that help move food, break it down, keep things going. They basically control your digestive tract. That was paralyzed. Idiopathic gastroparesis. What that means is food goes in my stomach and it stays there. And it can actually start to rot. If you eat too much fibrous food, it can actually form a ball of fiber that blocks your stomach and kills you. They say stop eating vegetables, stop eating whole grains, stop eating fruit. You can't eat fat, you can't eat seeds or hard nuts. Food isn't getting through you, so it's not being digested. But so I just kept going to work. I was working at Petco. I would be standing at the cash register. Numbers weren't going through my head. I couldn't do math in my head anymore. I would reach for things and I'd miss them. I would be standing at the cash register and I'd have to hold on to like something to keep myself from falling. Room was spinning. People were talking to me and I didn't know what they were saying. So I started to think I was nuts. I picked up a stomach flu when a quarter was just starting at Cal Poly and I was just moving in. It hit me so hard. My mom was helping me move in and she was about ready to leave to drive home. I said, take me to the ER, please. Just by the time that I got there, I went into shock. I started convulsing. I felt like I couldn't breathe. I was dizzy. I felt like I was going to black out. There were stars everywhere. They said that my blood pressure was severely low. My heart rate was really high. So they started pumping me with fluids. 3 liters of fluid later, they were still giving me fluids. I was actually near death in terms of dehydration. I left school for a quarter, came home, I tried a bunch of different medications that all had terrible side effects. Eventually we found one that kind of helped. It made life bearable, and I went back to school. Kept pushing through it, kept pretending like I wasn't feeling like I was dying every day. Little did I know, but the infection was progressing. It had progressed into stage 3, which is final stage, where the bacteria affect every single organ in your body. They were in my brain, they were in my heart. I spent pretty much all of my time, the last quarter I was at Cal Poly, just curled up in the fetal position on my floor in the room with the lights out, with 911 dialed on my phone, ready to dial in case I was about to die. I had my finger hovering over the button for like hours a day because I was that close. I was just suffering like more than anyone ever should have to suffer. I didn't feel like I could do anything. No one can help me. I started hearing voices. That was terrible. When I started hearing voices, I was sure that I was going insane. Went home, and I was pretty sure that I was going to die soon. Kind of just accepted the fact that I was going to die. I was in the middle of getting scheduled to have a Botox injection, where they stick a tube down your throat and